Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And when we are chanting Shanti, which means peace, 3 times, one explanation or one way of putting a significance to that, what I heard, I found really beautiful, is that one is the peace within our heart, within our being. One is the peace with another person, with any type of relationship, person you maybe have contact with. And then the third Shanti is for the whole world, like an expansion to everyone. Every living being on this beautiful planet. So what comes here today is first to start in our own heart, in our own core, to connect with that inner peace. And sometimes it's more and sometimes it's less covered with day-to-day things, emotions, thoughts, whatever there might be, that's fine. So let us take time to really settle in, to really sink down to that bottom of the ocean. And whenever we get distracted with a thought which wants to bring us more up again, then seeing that and just choosing to keep on sinking down to that deepest place of truth inside. And anchoring in that truth. rooting down in that truth, in that peace. You could also say really steeping in that, like you would steep a tea bag, like really sitting in that peace, in that truth, until it fills every cell of your being, from that inner core, distributing itself more and more to every corner of your being. Just steeping there. And if through so much peace and so much stillness, any noise, so to speak, comes up, that's fine. Let it just bubble up and out, but stay in that peace, grounding there as these old things can just empty out. And even though it might feel noisy in the meantime, be aware that underneath there's always that deep, deep stillness. The more we just stay rooted in that peace, no matter what, the easier these old things, these, you could say, like the dark clouds which sometimes cover up the sun, the more I'm rooting in that peace, the easier these clouds can just pass by. They never touch the sun. They just, depending on where you're standing, cover the sun so you don't see it, but the sun is always untouched. That inner peace is never touched by anything which might come up. It's sometimes just like having enough patience, just sitting in that place while there maybe is certain noise or turmoil there, but just patiently sitting, aware of both, of that peace and that noise, or that sun and the clouds. Both are there. Until then, slowly but surely, whatever might have covered the sun lifts. We can just observe, nothing we have to do. Just steeping in that peace. Like that rock on the shore, when the big waves come and break on it, and it just doesn't move an inch, it just stays there. Exactly like that, we stay in that peace. No matter how big the waves might come. And then with this deep rootedness in the peace, there comes also that sweet joy, like maybe very, very, very little perceivable in the beginning, but in a sense that if I'm really just rooted in that peace, I can start to enjoy the big waves, how they splash and how they dance. It's fine if you don't feel it, but just saying that in that peace there's also this sweetness in it. That joy. Of just being. as we are so deeply rooted in our inner peace, that rock, let's bring our focus to our relationships, how we interact with people. You could either do that in general, just your whole way of interacting with anyone, basically. Or if you feel like you would want to do that today with one specific person, where you feel that might be beneficial, then you can also do that. And we're really entering there with that groundedness in that rock in our heart, that peace, deep peace in our heart. So from that place, like as if you would have the eyes there and your perspective is from there, you look to your relationships, friendships, whatever it might be, or to this one particular person. Looking, so to speak, with peaceful eyes to these relationships, to that person. And then immediately, as we bring another being or more beings into the equation, so to speak, in that peace, there emerges the quality of compassion. In the sense that when I'm so deeply rooted in peace, that rock which doesn't move an inch, no matter what might happen, so deeply rooted in that peace, that brings us like to a state where we can see the outside world with way more compassion, like maybe certain things, how our relationships work, or how with this one particular person a situation has been, or whatever you are working with. There can be so much more compassion because you are in that peace, and you can see that maybe that particular person, or maybe in general the people you are interacting with, are not always 100% grounded in such deep peace, and they are not that rock, and maybe there are waves in their lives and they get banged around and don't feel really safe and grounded. And it's not about permitting or excusing any behavior of interactions with people, but it's about having your boundaries, but also compassion for why these people might act a certain way, talk a certain way, behave a certain way. can really let all our being get filled with that compassion, every cell of our being, with that, you could say, divine love. I don't mean romantic love or friendship love, it's divine love, that seeing basically God in everyone and every being. So the more and more we can be open for that compassion to fill us, and for that compassion to maybe wash away certain things where we felt hurt through behavior of other people, or we felt not treated well, or there was just some not nice interaction with them, not truthful, smooth, or however you want to say that. So we can all let that old energy just loosen up and let it be washed out by that compassion. It's like healing waters, you could say. Like a healing stream of golden light washing over you, taking away any past memories, anything where we maybe still consciously or unconsciously hold on to. Something where we haven't felt treated well by that person, or by, in general, interactions with people, not feeling understood, not feeling accepted. It's just let all these old emotions be washed away in that understanding and compassion. Like I said, it doesn't have to do with not still having boundaries with a certain person or with a group of people in general, but to just really don't hold on to these painful emotions ourselves, to really let them go, let them be washed away. And the more and more we empty ourselves out of these old wounds, even deeper peace, more love can be present in us, as if that rock, that deepest core place of peace, is now even shining brighter, radiating of that love, of that peace. as that core of our being radiates bright golden light, see if it feels correct today to send whatever is overflowing, not emptying yourself, but whatever is overflowing from that glowing core of yours to your relationships or to that particular person, so that they might find peace as well. I will chant a few times again the mantra from the beginning, the Lokaha Samastaha Sukhino Bhavantu, which means may all beings in all the worlds be happy and peaceful. And you can, whatever is overflowing in your heart, send that to your relationships or to this one person. Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. 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 Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And then we can gently or say goodbye to that one person or to the focus of our relationships, friendships in general. And we want to expand even further to also people, beings we don't know, we have maybe never met. Everything on this earth, sentient and non-sentient, whole of creation. Let's see if we can, again, only in that overflowing in our own peace, not emptying ourselves out, but in that overflowing of really being so full of deep peace and compassion. Let's see if we can be like that rose which emanates that beautiful fragrance into the world without any effort, just letting that fragrance of peace and compassion, let it just emanate out of your being. The rose also doesn't squeeze that smell out of her beautiful flower. She just opens the flower and the fragrance gently goes into the world. So in the same way, let us, the best we can today, see if we want to open our hearts to the whole of creation. We can also have our heart only a tiny bit open. If that's what we have today, that's what we have. If we feel that the rest of that peace, of that rock, that groundedness in peace, we need it for ourselves, that's completely fine. We can just open the door of our heart a tiny bit. And if we feel we can open our heart completely, then that's wonderful too. Whatever is there for you right now is perfect. And if it's difficult for you to focus on the whole world, what you could do is just like kind of visualize the globe in the sense that that includes everything, the planet itself and everything which is on Mother Earth, so to speak. Or however else you want to just, without any picture, connect to just all of creation. Sending that beautiful smell of compassion, love, and peace into the world. And the rose doesn't have any expectation about where her fragrance will end up, or if people are going to like it or not. So in the same way, when we open ourselves to just share our abundance, our peace with the world, we can do that without any expectation of if the world will receive it in a particular way, or what it might bring as a result, so to speak. really including everything, all the other human beings, all the animals, and all of nature, the trees, the mountains, the rivers and lakes. Every smallest piece of grass and every biggest tree. Everything. May it be bathed in that peace and that golden light, rooting down more and more. So with all that noise and turmoil out in the world, they may hopefully still find peace. And in between, if we need to, we can really just also stay in our own heart again. If we feel like we would empty ourselves, then just come back to your own peaceful heart, so to speak. Not closing the door in the sense of closing yourself off of the world, but kind of like, okay, maybe for today I feel that I've given enough and I need to really nurture my own heart a bit more. Or if you feel that you're still so full to the brim and overflowing, then you can keep on showering that love, peace, and compassion into the world. I'm going to chant a few more times again that mantra from the beginning. And if you are still with showering the grace and the love and the peace into the world, then you can just stay with that and sending that mantra out into the world, so to speak. And if you are if you have come back to your own heart, nurturing your own heart, then just really feel that mantra resonate inside of your own heart. Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. 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 Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And then maybe if it feels right, bowing in front of the whole of creation, in front of your beautiful heart, in front of that unspeakable peace, in gratitude for having given us that experience, that rootedness, that being in peace. Namaste.